Just confirming that you got a message. We need as many ambulances as you can hand right now.
The 911 call for help for as many ambulances as possible after a crash between a big rig and an SUV packed with people. Some passengers thrown out of the vehicle, some trapped inside, and others described as simply walking away from the crash wounded. It happened on a desolate stretch of road miles from help. Good evening. I'm Gino Lamont with breaking news outside of El Centro near the Mexican border.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. This is one of the deadliest crashes ever in our state history. 13 people are dead, but that number could grow. Several agencies are investigating, and because of that, we've had contradicting numbers of people killed or numbers of people injured. We do know 4 victims were airlifted to Desert Regional Medical Center in Palm Springs, being treated at the level 2 trauma center here, 3 of them in the ICU. We also know the victims who lost their lives are between the ages of 15 and 53, and investigators are working to determine their identities. Let's go now to Olivia Sandusky. She's live at the crash site in Holtville, just east of El Centro, and she's been there all day tracking new developments. So, Olivia, what's the scene like at this hour?
Sarah, it's hard to imagine that 25 people were packed inside of the Ford Expedition that's actually still here just off of Highway 115. And we've learned this afternoon all of the seats in that vehicle have actually been removed except for the driver and the passengers. That led to everybody inside the car getting injured today. What still remains unclear is what led up to this accident. It's an accident unlike any Officer Platero has seen before.
This is definitely at a bigger magnitude as far as collision scene is concerned.
According to CHP, early Tuesday morning, a Ford Expedition collided with a semi-truck on Highway 115. The semi's driver was injured, and 13 of the Expedition's 25 passengers died.
Obviously, that vehicle is not meant for that many people. It's unfortunate that that number of people were put into that vehicle because there's not enough safety restraints to safely keep those people within the vehicle.
Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused this deadly accident at the intersection here of Norrish Road, but they say it left behind a dramatic scene.
Some people were ejected onto the pavement, onto the ground, that passed away as a result of those injuries. Other people were found deceased within the vehicle. Patients,
including some teenagers, are currently being treated at the hospital, and the Mexican consulate is working with CHP to identify the victims and notify their families.
What we have to keep in mind is that 13 people died in this crash. We owe it to the families and those killed and injured, as well as the public, to conduct a thorough and complete investigation.
Now, the driver of that Ford Expedition is from Mexicali. While they're still working to identify all of the other victims who were in that car, we have just learned, as breaking news, 10 of those passengers are considered to be Mexican nationals. Reporting live, Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.